Croeso to GreenWales, the channel celebrating the people, businesses and projects building a greener, fairer Wales. Every week we speak to organisations creating real solutions aligned to the Future Generations Act and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Helping Wales lead the way in sustainability and innovation. Let's meet today's guest. You can sort of see it behind me. Her name is Mair. How are you? You okay?
I'm very good, thank you. Yes, very good.
I want to say thank you very much for coming on to the show. Because I've been trying to get you guys for months, because I've been sort of stalking you for about 4 or 5 years. I first sort of reached out. I think I saw you at Swansea Arena, the Green
that's right.
Conference.
Yeah, it was.
And then I pulled you in on Go Green Week.
Yeah.
And Ruth came and
spoke to the students, didn't she?
Yeah, and that was amazing. And ever since I've been like, how can I work with these people again? And I've even been like emailing you, being like, if there's any opportunity for me to come and work with you, because there's some projects in Wales that just are so inspiring and answer so many of the problems that we have, and you do it, and this is one of them, definitely. So I interviewed Gareth Banks yesterday, and he was singing your praises, and you can sort of see that in the sustainability world, you definitely pull a focus on what you do. So tell me a little bit about you, Ruth. Just a little overview of the company, just very light touch.
Yeah,
Tell us some stuff.
Me and Ruth were both kind of working on the same thing in the background. We were both trying to bring about an insulation product that was plastic free and using Welsh wool. Ruth had just done her lovely barn conversion down in West Wales.
Nice.
She'd used the sheep's wool product, but was really sort of conscious that it wasn't, using just Welsh wool, where her barn was sort of nestled in amongst the countryside. So she was heavily driven on, why isn't there something we needed? Similarly, I was working in a housing kind of landscape and seeing that we need to take more consideration about the products we use in terms of embodied carbon. And using products that are more circular and can be returned to the earth at the end of their useful lives. And I thought, well, we've got all this wool on farm, it doesn't get a great price. There has to be something that can be done. So we both met then through the Made with Wool partnership.
How was it?
That was a Welsh government funded project, and it was all across Wales. It was bringing all key stakeholders together. So you had everybody from like knitters, sewers, right the way up to people that were, working with wool and building, quite clever businesses out of it. And one of the sort of project managers there, Aileen, she said, only if you're happy to have this introduction, but she said there is a lady that's trying to do exactly the same thing as what you're trying to do. Why don't you have a conversation and see if there's some common themes there and things that you can try and develop upon together? So me and Ruth then met down in Peatland Services, funny enough, in the Costa Coffee.
That's amazing.
My eldest daughter was with me and she played Barbies the whole time that we were having this conversation, dressing all our Barbies. And we sat there and we had a really good conversation about what are the problems, what are the challenges, what can we do in terms of research and development, and is there something there that we can get a bit of a collaboration going on?
Oh, I love that.
That was like the August, and then we sort of progressed from there really, and by the October then we formed the company. So that was October 2022. So I
can ask you when?
Yeah, October 2022 we incorporated the company, and we've just kind of grown very much with a research and development kind of core belief to the company. So really trying to think like, what are those challenges? What are we going to need futuristically? Where are the gaps? What are we already doing, but we maybe not doing as well as we could? And trying to sort of stay true to that value of, we want to remain, a product that is as natural as possible. I mean, it doesn't come much more natural.
I know, I blooming love it. Like, I wish I could just take it home with me.
It is literally just, wool fibre. So we did quite a large Innovate UK project then with Vector Group, where we looked at making a more rigid panel from wool. But again, keeping that theme of, we don't want to add in any
additives or anything
resins or anything that's not bio-based. And we successfully managed to do that and develop a product that was completely 100% wool. So yeah, it's amazing what this fibre can do. And when you kind, like, from farming background, you understand that sheep have been bred in a specific sort of way
Yeah.
for the location in which they need to live, right? So for this, it's the Welsh mountain grade wool. And these have been designed to live on the Welsh landscapes, the mountains, with as little intervention as possible. Like, you know, we as farmers, we don't want these sheep in the shed all year round,
No.
needing a lot of extra care.
Yeah.
They need to be able to take the wind and the rain and everything else. So their fleece has grown in such a way, it's evolved over the years, over about 12,000 years, to do exactly that, to keep them weatherproof, waterproof, keep them warm on the Welsh hillside. So it is the perfect insulative material.
Oh, I love it so much. So I get so excited.
Yes. So when we look at the Welsh mountain grade wool in particular, now it would be good if I brought some lowland wool with me from the farm, because I've got some very nice, luxurious sort of breeds of wool on the sheep at home, which would be no good for insulation, but lovely to wear next to your skin. Whereas this would be the opposite.
Horrible to wear.
Itchy and horrible. You would not want to be wearing a Welsh wool jumper. And the reason for that is the crimp on this fibre is far, far more pronounced than what, like, you would have a much straighter fibre for more of a lowland breed that isn't going to live well on the Welsh.
They're not going to survive, bless
They're just
them.
not. So the fact that the Welsh wool has got this crimp to it is what then traps more air when it's all held together.
Ah, I got you.
So it's that insulative value that is enhanced in the Welsh mountain breed because of the way that fibre has been bred.
And this is what I love. It's the old school. It's 12,000 years of sheep's
It's far cleverer than anything we can do in a laboratory in modern day, industrialisation. It's nature.
Yeah, and you struck on something as well where you wanted to do research and be led by research. And I think that's so important, because when people can have fantastic ideas, and normally what they do, they have a brilliant idea first, create the product, they go, this is amazing, everybody should have it. And they go, oh, have you got the license? Have you got that? Is it approved? You need to get your third sector, your part accreditation. They go, no. And you're going, oh, you got another 5 years ahead of you yet then, before you even get there. So the fact that you're doing that as you're scaling,
as part of the development,
it saves you time in the long run, and actually when you have something, it is ready for market. Okay, that was brilliant, thank you. So I have a set of 5 questions with a bonus last question, which is a nice one. It is written in your head and you might not have seen it, but it's a nice one.
I do like a surprise.
Oh, well, I've got a surprise. Have I got other surprises? I think I've got other surprises. Yeah, I have another surprise. Don't worry, at the end. It'll be lovely. So everybody gets asked these questions. It gives people a chance to see how the Wellbeing Future Generations Act is being embedded throughout Wales. What I always say, the Future Gen Act is so versatile and bendable, I'm going to say that right now, that people can apply it in so many different types of ways, and they align to it in so many different types of ways as well, which just shows you how it is embedding in our society, and it is becoming a successful thing for Wales and gives Wales its USP, as we are the only country in the world who has legislation like this. So we may as well start with a question. How does your work contribute to a more sustainable and prosperous Wales? And can you give me one real example of how that thinking has influenced the decision you've made?
Okay, so we have way more sheep in Wales than we do people. A very, very undervalued historically fibre. I'm pleased to say it's now a very well valued fibre, and the returns and the prices that we're seeing now in the auctions are significantly higher than what it's been in years, because of this renewed interest in wanting a natural, sustainable fibre in all industries, not just in insulation and acoustics and everything else, or peatland restoration, across the board for wool. So we're now thinking, in fashion, we're thinking in all these, different industries. What is this stuff that we're using? Is it fossil fuel based?
Is it a polymer? Is it a plastic?
Is it a polymer? Is it a plastic? Has it got the potential to be a microplastic that ends up in our water
comes out your washing machines and bang, and it goes.
Is it in our bodies? Do you know? This is the question now. Whereas wool, being proven, if you do eat it, I wouldn't recommend eating it.
You eating it?
It's fully digestible.
You've eaten it then, yeah?
It's along the lines of Weetabix.
Your kids have eaten it,
It's along the line of Weetabix is all I'm going to say now. It's fully digestible, okay? So if you did happen to ingest it for whatever reason, it's not going to cause you any problems.
No.
Likewise, in a marine environment, British Wool have done some fantastic studies on the marine side of it. Again, fully biodegradable. We say 12,000 years wool has been about. Is it clogging up any oceans, waterways? Is it causing any problems anywhere? Like what the last 100 years has with plastic. So 12,000 years versus 100 years.
Yeah.
We don't need to go far to work out the maths of what we should have been
It's
using.
even less, I think it's more like 50, 60 years since we've been like mass consuming plastics and the effect that it's having.
Destruction. So really important to say. But also, you know, it's a sustainable fibre, but we've got to think of it in terms of the wider landscape of Wales, right? So we've got these sheep that are there for a purpose, okay? They maintain the landscapes. They keep the bracken down so the trees can, can take off. They can mature. They protect those landscapes so that tourists want to come to Wales. They want to walk up our mountains. If we let it all rewild and took away any, serious numbers of stock, then all of that would be decimated overnight. It would be a jungle. The wildfires would come because the heat, the summers are getting hotter. We'd be dealing with this cycle of wiping out flora, fauna, biodiversity, everything on a rotational cycle. So it has to be a balance, okay? So whilst that balance is there and we're protecting that ecosystem and that, that biodiverse habitat is intrinsically linked with the sheep farming in Wales, it's a massive part of our heritage.
Yeah.
It's important that we have somewhere for this fibre to go on into another product, lock away that carbon that it's stored during its growth cycle.
How much carbon is stored in a wool? Is it like 50% of the? It's
50% carbon content, basically.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah. So,
and that's of the weight of it, am I right? How they work it out?
They graze in the grasses. The grasses, the vegetation, has got the atmospheric carbon locked into it through its growth cycle. They are then turning that into meat and wool. Yeah.
Fine.
So a lot of this wool would have come off breeding flocks in Wales, so flocks of 200-300 hefted to different parts of the common grounds in Wales. And those ewes then would be shorn June, July time, go back out to the mountain then and regrow their wool for the next season. So we got this continuous supply of this natural fibre from our breeding flocks in Wales. So every year, and the year comes around very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We've got another mass supply of this.
Yeah.
All of our products, so our Peatland restoration rolls, our True Wool product, our Lambda acoustic panels, everything that we do with Welsh wool is fully certified and traceable to each county across Wales. So we know exactly what farmer has had the return for that wool. So it's a really good social value to the wool product itself. We are a licensee brand of British wool. So they basically, they are the collection market. They are the marketing board for all the wool across the UK. And that is how we get that traceability element. So it's all done very high-tech and modern, all done on QR codes.
See, farmers, and I had a random question for you. It's not random, it's all to do with the wool and the carbon. If someone was building a house, so a property developer was going to build, we say one house, 100 houses, and they put the wool in there as insulation because of biodiversity net gain, because of carbon footprint on buildings. It's obvious that this would lower the carbon, but can it be used as an offset to a certain extent? Does it, how can I ask the question, does it offset more carbon than it is to make it?
It's an extremely low global warming potential as a building construction product. It's hard to prove that it is actually a carbon positive product because the thinking is there are emissions associated with that whole
supply chain, isn't it?
Yeah, getting it to this point, right? But in terms of comparing with alternative materials that would insulate your loft or your home or whatever you want to do with it, it is an extremely lower alternative in terms of global warming potential. So we've had some studies done just on the product and the life cycle of that, which is all available on our product data sheet on the website. But also British Wool have funded a massive project where they have done the life cycle assessment of it from the farm right the way through to the point where it gets to auction where we take it. So if you bolted the two together, you'd get the true picture. Yes,
I love that. And this is where I think, if someone's doing because again, if you've ever installed a synthetic insulation. It's horrible
It's a
stuff.
nasty job.
You got to wear a mask. It's the itchiest thing in the world. It's not good for your health to have that in. And when it's in your building, what it's breathing out and how it's reacting to it different. With this is actually a naturally fire retardant.
Yeah.
It's just natural.
Yeah, and the other really clever thing with the wool is, and Bangor University Biocomposite Centre have done quite a lot of work on this. The volatile organic compounds that this can absorb from the air around it.
Oh, wow.
So it's purifying. It's purifying that indoor air quality naturally, and it locks it away in its chemical structure. It bonds that away forever.
Can you put it on the outside of your walls? Because I could do that in my house.
You can put it anywhere you like. You can put it anywhere you like.
Take it off my hands. Right, sorry. Yeah. Right, okay, so, and we've sort of hit this. I don't think I'm going to ask it. I'm going to ask it, but then we're just going to probably carry on. So what do you actually do? You've sort of covered that. And how is it helping Wales move to a net zero circular thinking? Now, you've sort of hit that in some ways. And circular thinking, and maybe I'll start it off, is you're circular within the supply chain to a certain extent, where the farmer is becoming sustainable. He is growing the wool on the sheep. It's coming out, it's going out, and it's going back into a house. Yeah. So this natural product that technically, it's not really made into anything. It's just processed as it is.
It's a little bit more handleable, if that's a word. Easier to put out. Easier for us to test it, easier for us to sell it to the customer, as in it's a 50 millimetre thickness or it's a 75 millimetre, rather than giving you loose wool. You know, it could be done in loose wool, but it's just how we get that metric of what does that thermal calculation look like. Whereas when we make it into a product like this, it's still only natural wool, but you've then got a very clear metric of what does 50 mil do, what does 75 mil do.
But this is like for me, this is one of the pinnacles of circular. Yeah. Because when people make cardboard boxes, it's very natural, but it's gone through a huge process to get it to be a cardboard box. Yeah. That cardboard box can go around 12 times. Even my cup here, it's got an infinity loop on it. It stops 10,000 bottles from going into the ocean. It's been really good stuff. Wow. But it didn't come out of the tree like this. No. It had a process. It's been made. And this is what
I always think with recyclability. People say to me, well, it's okay because the milk's in a plastic bottle. The plastic bottle is recyclable, right? So that's okay. And I think, but, there's always a but, isn't there?
There's always a but.
Recycling in itself is an extremely energy intensive process. If we can avoid that plastic needing to be made in the first place, that's the true carbon.
Get glass instead, isn't it?
It's a bit like when we talk about the amount of work we've got to do on the route to decarbonisation and net zero, in 2050. When we look at the parts per million of how much carbon is in the atmosphere, when we say to decarbonise, we need to do all of this amount of work. So we're going to be looking at changing energy systems, retrofitting homes, all the different industries that we've got to decarbonise. All of that is driving carbon emissions up, okay? Yeah. Unless we're really focused from the start on, we must use natural low embodied carbon products in anything and everything we do. All of that work, yes, it's going to reduce operational emissions,
the impact won't be as bad, but it's still going to be bad.
We're still going to hit 450 parts per million, let's be honest. Yeah. When we look at it in terms of that, unless this is done in a very controlled way, where we try and do less is more, we are definitely going to exceed 450 parts per million. And with that comes those worst effects of climate change.
At People Planet Pint event with Gareth Banks a couple of weeks ago, and we watched I think it's called the Great Emergency Briefing. Yeah. And it's Chris Packham, and it's all scientists, and it's quite a short little movie, but it tells you exactly where we are. Yeah. It is honest, and it is quite scary to say the very least. Yeah. And that's why I do GreenWales, and probably sure that's why you do this.
And in terms of flooding and things like that, if we can cut emissions sharply, we could avoid parts of that happening, but we're definitely not cutting emissions.
No, not at all. And again, when we think about recycling, it's part of the journey. So if you recycle everything, that's brilliant. But what you've actually got to do is avoid. You've got to avoid and cut out. So if you buy, reduce, reuse, I say recycle, but don't. If you buy anything, try and reuse as much as you possibly can.
And try and, like you say, isn't it, have something that is circular. So at the end of its useful life, it's served its purpose as loft insulation for many, many, many years. Yeah. What can you do with a synthetic fibre? That's got to go into landfill somewhere. That can't be recycled.
Every time you wash it, you're washing synthetic fibres down the drain.
Wool, you can go and put this around your trees in the garden as mulch, or, you know, compost it back into the ground. It's full of nutrients, so that would feed your soil.
Do you know, if I've seen you in a stall, I'm always like, can I just buy the one you've got? Just because it's so lovely to look at. Right, okay, this is a really nice one as well. Or you're going to be able to answer this very well, probably. What challenges have you faced, and how do those challenges affect the next generation coming through in Wales?
Okay, that's an interesting one. So purely from a manufacturing perspective, of being an insulation manufacturer, to try and make a product that doesn't have plastic integrated into the manufacture of it in some description is extremely, extremely challenging. So we went on quite a journey to find a way in which we could stay true to what we wanted to do and avoid the introduction of any plastics, polyesters or anything like that, you know, thermally bonded into the product. So that was a challenge, okay? And then in terms of the wider landscape, being able to sustain what we do here in Wales and what we do well, and being able to get the public support to continue doing what we do in terms of agriculture, food production, protecting our landscapes. We have fresh water, we have fresh grass. We can't eat the grass.
Have a go. No.
You know, animals can, right? Done in a sustainable, sensitive way, managed correctly. We can have wool, we can have meat, we can have our landscapes preserved, you know, to a good enough degree so that we can, you know, plant trees where we need to plant trees, but we can also produce food that we can eat. Food security, as well as energy security, food security has to be the core focus for future generations, because as we've seen, you know, when there's turmoil anywhere else in the world, what happens to us? I'll give you a good example, right? I've got orphan lambs, 2 orphan lambs. They have to be fed supplemented milk. I buy a tub, 4.5 kilo tub of supplemented milk for them. There is a paper bag option. It's 4 times the size. Not very practical. Obviously, you know, on a farmyard, you'd rather it be safe and secure in a plastic tub. Was coming to the end of feeding them, weaning them onto the pellets. Needed an extra tub, just 1 tub. The war had started to gain pace. They couldn't get the polymers.
And that's the Iran war right now,
to make the buckets. So therefore, I could not purchase that 4.5 kilo tub that quickly. So they couldn't make the product because the polymers weren't available because they weren't being shipped across the world. I could buy the paper bag, obviously. Yeah, of course. But it was 4 times the size. And I had 2 lambs left to finish, so it just wasn't going to work.
And so what you want there is that paper bag company to get more support, so then they can bring different product ranges through and give you that smaller amount. So. They could also develop different products as well. But it struck me how fragile and how dependent we are on things that are way beyond our control here in Wales. Way beyond our control. I think that's a really important thing where... And how quick that untangles. So you imagine we are all used to going into Tesco's, food is on the shelf. What happens when we go into Tesco and the food's no longer on the shelf? The farmers are gone, do you know? Well, and that's it. And I talk about this throughout the channel and everybody I interview. It's about us creating our own supply chains. Back in the ones we already have. Wales first. It's Wales. It's because if you buy something that's made within the county that you live in or in the country you live in, the money's being invested right back into the people that you live with next door. Instead of buying something from a product, that money shoots out the country, does whatever it does, goes into whatever investment it goes into, and actually it works against you in the long run. You might have that cheap win to begin with. And I said on the channel lots of times, the way that I live my life, every year try to do incremental changes. Everything I'm wearing right now is from Vinted other than my trainers. But they were circular, so it's all right. But everything I try and do is to try and support local. I've been trying to find like Welsh clothing companies this year. And my wife's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, just buy me a really nice Welsh jumper. Like that would make me happy. Because I'd rather buy quality. And keep it longer. keep it longer.
Yeah.
I know that it's doing good. And, you know, with these products as well, the thing that I really love about this, if there's any builder out there that's doing a home and because everyone's looking at decarbonising, it's the hot thing, it's the hot ticket, you can charge more for these types of houses.
Yeah.
And if these are like allergy helping, so it's got a lot of hay fever or they are a more vulnerable person or have accessibility issues, by the house literally being insulated in this, it'll have all these...
got its own set of lungs, essentially, then.
It'll be helping clean the air for you in the house.
Yeah.
So it's another selling point. And I think everybody needs to learn a little bit more about social value. And when we say social value, the good that things do for you as an individual and the community that you live in by just buying a product.
Yeah.
And this does so many different things. It supports the farmer. It supports the biodiversity. It supports the landscape. It supports the individual buying the home.
Yeah.
It supports industry. It's
the perfect circle, isn't it?
I love it. Look, it's circular as well. It's in a circle. It's
did that on
for us.
purpose.
Well, it's just for this. Can you tell I'm passionate at home? So here's a good one. So where do you see opportunities for collaboration across Wales?
So I think
When we say collaboration, that could also be partnerships, supply as well. Just because the type of business you are might not be purely collaboration.
We're already really lucky in that kind of sphere, right? So we've got some really good retail partners.
Yeah.
We work with a fantastic Welsh organisation called Celtic Sustainables down in Cardigan, and they are suppliers of natural and sustainable building materials. So, you know, whilst they work with a huge number of brands across the board, when they heard about Welsh wool, they were really excited. So they've been big supporters from the start of the True Wool journey. So it's like collaboration across the board for us would be seeing more councils, housing associations, seeing more Welsh-based companies committing to, you know, yes, we want to lower our operational carbon, but we do want to really make sure that embodied carbon in the products is something that we look at as well. So just, you know, more wide scale use of it in Wales. We see, you know, a huge amount of our customers are from across the bridge. Whether it's more open to that sort of sustainable product, understanding what you can do for your home better. But we do find that a large percentage of customers are from further afield than Wales.
I'm seeing a company, is it the next week or the next week after, Valleys to Coast Housing Association. So guess what I'll be mentioning to them?
Loft rolls.
Yeah. Get them in. No, but this is the whole point of the channel, is to try and pull those connections together. And because you've done the hard yards, because you've got the research, you've got the certification, you've got the life cycle assessment, you can see the benefits.
Yeah.
It's just buy it.
Yeah.
Just buy it. And a lot of it is, as you say, supply chains are so set up in their ways.
Yeah.
It's hard to change them. And when you're a large organisation, just go in with what you know. And when they go, oh, we're more sustainable this year because we're doing this, and that might be 10%. They go, oh, great, that's just enough for me to keep with them. Yeah. But actually, if they dived onto this, it could change things massively.
Yeah.
And I just get so excited. I've been excited about this project now for 4 years. Pretty much since you came onto the board.
We're definitely starting to see that shift now where, you know, natural building materials, we have moved away from the whole, this is a grand design kind of product.
Yes, yeah.
You know, we are starting to move, that shift is starting to happen now where we're getting more architects that want to specify the product, more people that understand, right, I need a material that doesn't just look after the thermal values in this property that will handle moisture and humidity, you know, particularly where we got solid wall properties, pre-1919 built houses, you know, a massive amount of the stock here in the UK. We need products that breathe, that are open vapour, that are really good at dealing with moisture and humidity, and products that are natural fibre are able to do that, and they're able to do it really well. They're able to do it without compromising any of their thermal quality, so they can absorb and release up to 30% of its own weight in water vapour and not lose any thermal qualities. Synthetic fibres can't replicate that.
And this brings me on to the last question, and I think I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about this bad boy right here. So the last question is, and it's because of what you're doing with it and what it'll do.
Yeah.
So when you think you're 20 years ahead,
Yeah.
what does a thriving Welsh green economy look like? And how will young people feel the impact of the decisions that you're making today? And that's why I point to this and what it's there to do.
Yes. Okay. So these are our peatland restoration logs. It's quite dense.
I love it. Show the camera.
The basic ideology behind these is that they are to sit in the peatland landscapes across Wales. They are to be designed in such a way where they can be stacked and staked into position. So we're basically aiming at slowing down the water runoff.
Slowing the flow.
Off the peatlands, our precious peatlands that are, you know, fantastic carbon sinks. We need to restore them. We need to look after them. We need to help them recolonise so that the sphagnum mosses and all the wonderful things that should be there get a chance to re-establish. So we see a much more increase, you know, rainfall in Wales. It's always been a bit of a joke.
Look at this winter though, isn't it? It's just been
rainfall in Wales.
Absolutely plumbing it down.
Exactly, but we're seeing much more intense rainfall when it does come, so that the peatland is just not getting a chance to do that recolonisation and it's washing out again and again and again.
Right.
So by putting in really targeted approaches using, you know, various materials, Welsh wool being an excellent choice, I must say myself. We can slow down that water runoff, and we can do this restoration of this precious habitat then across Wales.
And it's a natural product going into a natural area, so
yeah,
there's
so
no
what we try to
impacts.
do exactly, and what we try to do, okay, like this is all fully biodegradable and returnable to the earth in a matter of years once it's done its important job. What we try to do is work with farmers from that particular area where a common is being restored. So we try to aim that the wool that was grown in that landscape ends up back in that landscape, protecting the peatlands. So
I love that. So you even go hyper-local with the sourcing of the wool to the project if you can.
Yeah. It's just trying to keep that money, you know, that social value aspect, really like close to the project.
And make those long-term collaboration opportunities then, so whenever they do restoration, the people around are benefiting immediately. So it's not just like, oh, you could have, they're seeing these go in and they're going, well, they didn't use my sheep.
Yes.
They didn't use my wool.
It's seen as a more positive you know, intervention then, isn't it?
And it's reputational benefits for the organisations that buy them.
Yeah.
Because the farmer goes, he bought that from me and he's doing that amazing job. He's banging the drum.
I will support them.
Exactly.
This is what they want to do on the landscape. They've supported me. You know, it's a two-way street, all of this decarbonisation stuff. It has
to be.
It's a two-way street, isn't it, you know?
I was working with a project, I say filming. They were working. Green Space SOS. I've mentioned them quite a few times because they were really, much like yourselves, kind of blew my mind a little bit. And they were helping out, they're working with Valleys to Coast.
Okay.
And they're in Bridgend with this project they're working on at this council estate. And they've lost their connection to nature. So Green Space SOS come in. There's an ancient forest behind where they all live, but no one's got access to it. So they've been building like otter hides in there.
Oh, nice.
They got partnerships with Pencoed College, so they get surveying done and how to tackle the invasive species, creating a tree nursery there. Oh, right. It's completely changing and connecting the locals with the journey of doing it.
Yeah, and the benefits that they have then in terms of health and well-being from being in outdoor spaces, isn't it?
100%. And they will all run these projects. The people who live there will run them.
Nature's so important,
It's so important. And Valleys to Coast, I cannot wait to be with them in the room because I just think the conversation we're going to have, I'm going to get probably emotional. I'm like, you're so good. Can I come with you? You know, because I just love it. I get so excited.
You found your people, Gareth. That's what it is. You found your people.
Can I come in a little bag, a reusable one, and you take me
take some wool with you?
Yeah, you'll come with me. I'll be in one of these. Take me in one of these buttons. No, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, so the last question. Ready?
I am.
Who else in Wales is doing brilliant sustainability work that deserves to be showcased and why? And I ask this because it takes me on my sort of journey. So I'm not deciding who I go and see. Of course, I always reach out to different companies, but I like to be run by the people I interview as well for transparency and honesty as well on my side.
Oh, okay.
Try to be good. I try to be a good boy.
Okay, so number one, I would name Orange Box. Obviously, we've already
Yeah.
chatted about Orange Box.
But I haven't been to his site, and I interviewed him yesterday for the studio, but maybe I should go and see him as well.
Amazing. Yeah, really got sustainability at the heart and core of everything that they're doing there.
Yeah.
You know, we're excited for the future with Orange Box, hoping to collaborate on some more projects in the future. And also, Stump Up for Trees. A fantastic organisation.
Yeah, Gareth mentioned them yesterday. She's been going to see us 2 votes in 2 days.
We've supported quite a bit of them. You know, if we get offcuts and things like that, then obviously they are really grateful to have them for their nursery, for their trees, their saplings that they're bringing on. You know, it's a brilliant material for mulching around the trees and things like that. Good
exposure for the project, the benefits as well.
Yeah, so, and they're like a natural fit for us to support. We just think they align exactly with what we are trying to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 really good ones there.
I love that. And yeah, it's brilliant. What's nice is you're seeing different conversations, but similar companies coming up.
Yeah.
Some people mention the same people, which then just shows you that it's not just one person who's a big fan of these people, it's multiple. So if someone wanted to get in touch, if someone wanted to be like, oh my God, I'm building a new house, I want it in, get it in my house, or I'm in a council, I'm the head of the council, get it in the council, let's get those supply chains sorted. How do they get in touch with you? Where do they come and look?
You can find us directly on our website, Wool Insulation Wales. We've got a submit an inquiry form option on there. Our direct contact details are also on there, so feel free to give us a call directly.
Fantastic. And the last thing for me to do then, we don't do a membership, okay? We don't like memberships, we do collectives. And the collectives is people doing things, people actually doing it. It's not like you sign up and all the rest of it. So you are now welcomed and come into the GreenWales collective. Okay, so thank you for coming in.
A good place
I have
to be.
this for you, which is our GreenWales pin badge. Okay,
I feel very proud.
Well, what can I say? You can brand a shit like me if you want to. We kind of got the same sort of jackets.
That's lovely.
And what we try and do then every quarter, we don't do a newsletter. We call it the collaboration station.
Right.
We put everybody together through an email. You know, I'll email everybody out being like, right, what are you doing? How can people help you? Can people volunteer? Do you want to try and get your product there? And everyone emails me. And then I put that together and I email that out to everybody.
Oh, wow.
And the whole point is trying to connect people.
Yes.
And then anything that I do events-wise or training-wise, I'm doing some training at the moment and it's all about, it's like an introduction to sustainability, but it's quite hardcore.
Okay.
And then it's developing sustainable stories. So again, because people can do amazing things, but if they got to say it in 4 sentences, what they do, that's what the training is. It gets it down.
Yes.
And the last session I'm doing at the moment is collaboration and networking, practicing, bringing out people from the collective as well, bringing in different organizations, talking about like PLAs, like personal learning accounts and free training that people can do and upskill. So you're invited to all of that as well.
Oh, wow.
And the only thing I got left to say is, please, the only way this works is to get better exposure and to get out there for everybody. So please like, comment and subscribe. That's the most important thing, because then YouTube will push the content out. And you know what was great? I saw something yesterday. I had 8,500 extra pushes because of the subscriptions.
Amazing.
So if you don't think, you know, the one thing you could do for me is subscribe, and that helps projects like this then get further out into the network and everywhere else. So the last thing we do is wave to the camera and say goodbye. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Hwyl fawr.
Ooh, hwyl fawr.